I've now fitted the fighting top on and started the square section on top, like that, on all four sides. And now while it's drying, I'm going to paint the bottom of the mast yellow ochre. In the middle of these we've cut a 5mm notch, so these U-shaped fittings will fit in between in there. I'll show you when that's done, but that's the notches for the rope, I believe, to hold onto the middle section of the mast. I believe, we'll see. Those U-shapes are now in place, as you can see, making a hole for this rope to go through. But we'll do that later because I need that to dry first, because I'm going to be doing all of this when it's dry. So for now, I'm going to start by making these parts here. It's just nice and simple stuff. So yeah, I'll do that, and I believe we'll be ready to do the rope. You can see the two sets of ropes are tied. Next, we're securing these big blocks to each side of the rope so it dangles down to about there. And yeah, so that's that. And I've also finished this block and painted it black, and then the two smaller blocks which will secure onto here. And I've built this, but I'll show you this after I've secured these blocks. Right, so the blocks are in place. This connector bit, I can't remember what it's called, is done. This is done. Now what we're going to do is actually start shaping the mast, which is here, using this guide. Once that's shaped, I believe we'll be starting to put it all together again. We are first starting off by creating an octagonal area around the bottom of the mast. So that's the first part we got to do. I've now finished the hexagonal section. Not hexagonal, it's an octagonal section. And now we are marking the end of the mast and cutting it off, and we're marking off the square section from here to here and just shaping that. So this section is nice and easy, so we'll finish that and I believe we'll start putting the mast together. Now, at the bottom of the square section we create another octagonal piece here, as you can see. And then here, we're going to clad it all around with planks and shape it to make a support like that. So that's what I'm just working on now. While I wait for this section to dry so I can start shaping it, because it's literally the last thing I have to do on, and then insert it in stage 60. This is a finished mast. What I'm going to do is let it dry now, and then I'll paint the whole thing black, and then we will move on to the top section. Right now, finished shaping the mast, the top section of it. Now what we're doing is adding this thing, but it takes a while to dry the wood, so while I do that I'm going to work on the smaller mast caps and what else we got to do? Yeah, I believe that's what we're gonna do. Just work on the mast cap and finish this off. So my plan is for the rest of this model that I'm just gonna finish this main mast off, and then I'm going to start doing bits of the hull from here on. So any stages with masts and yards I'm going to ignore until after I finish the hull, or until I reach a point where I have to do the masts in order to do the hull. So that's what I'm going to do from now on. So I'm going to finish off, this is the top section of the mast, the main mast. We'll just finish this off and then we'll stick it on, and yeah, now just putting on the main cross tree on the mast, and I'm also going to stick this bead on the top of the mast. As you can see, I've installed this, which is carved, so it has 3 notches to hold ropes. I've added these little fittings on the top of the mast, and I've also added the top section of the mast. I'm going to let this dry and paint it black, the whole thing black, and then we will move on to rigging, which I've started a little bit here by making 4 of these heart blocks. These are a lot more difficult than the normal blocks, as the knot is on a point, so the knot needs to be very, very tight, and it's quite hard to position it. So got 4 of those, and yeah, so I'll paint this black when it's dry, and we will then put the rigging on. As you can see, I've fully finished rigging and painting the entire mast. What I've got to do now is put this aside while I continue with the hull, because the next bit is constructing the yards, but I don't want to work on the mast, I want to work on the hull. So I'm going to do the masts after. So I believe the next part is actually painting the hull. So yeah, I'll show you and get to that. I'm now going to draw the waterline, which is done by making a little contraption of a pencil that stays in place while the model is on the stand, and you go around the whole model. I've made this, just pin some pins through to the pencil, to the piece of wood I've got here. I don't really care about the pencils, it doesn't really matter, but yeah, we're literally just going to go like this around the whole model. And then after that, along the line we will paint black paint like this, all scratchy, so this makes it easier for the makes it easier, so when you're doing the upper hull you don't have to mask off by the copper again. So yeah, and after that's done, we'll put masking tape over it, back onto the waterline, and after that we'll start painting, which I'll go over as well. As you can see, I've masked off the area on the entire model, and it is time to paint. I will be doing this with the official copper paint, although I'm not sure it'll be good, because it does look a little bit dodgy, but that's probably because I haven't mixed it good enough before, but we'll see. It should be fine. So yeah, I'll just start to paint the entire hole now. Right, so I said I'll be working on the hole from now on, but I'm going to have to hold that off for a little while because the paint that I've got is terrible. This is by far the worst paint I've probably used ever in my entire life, and this also I've tried. It hasn't got the pigmentation to it. It's not good enough. All it does is just makes it look orange. So I'm gonna have to order some new ones. I'll show you what it looks like on the actual model now, but so we're going to be working on the yards now, I believe, the main yard for the main mast. So I'll show you. This was the normal paint that comes with the Victory. It's a lot darker on camera. It's like a muddier colour on camera. Like it's quite muddy, whereas on the camera it does look a bit copper, but it does actually look like mud. And they also have loads of bits in it which you have to sand off. Like it's got loads of bits of copper just stuck in there, so it's not very good. And on the other side, I've tried the Revel, which just makes it look a bit copper, but it's orange, so it's not very good. So I have to order some new stuff.